Hey everyone, there's a new Player of the Week section on eFootball. We've also got this new extra level up campaign. We're getting some position trainers and also triple XP on just about everything. So EXP galore and some much needed position trainers. We've also got this little Atalanta campaign as well. Basically got 5 Atalanta players to celebrate them winning the Europa League. So some free Atalanta players, which is great. But let's take a look. In fact, I'll just quickly show you the Atalanta players before we look at Player of the Week. So, as you see, 5 in there. Got Scalvini, Lookman, obviously, De Roon, Scamacca, De Ketelaere. So, some freebies out there. But let's take a look at our Player of the Week selection. Got 2 4-stars. We'll start with Niang. To be honest, I'll be brutally honest with this guy. They've added a few skills, but that's about it. So if we go straight to the skills, they've added first time shot, super sub, and fighting spirit. So he's got a decent section of skills there for a centre forward, but I'm not going to talk too long about this guy. He's just bang average, really. The awareness and finishing are good enough, but they're not brilliant. He's not great on the ball. Passing's kind of all right for centre forward. Average pace with a goal poacher playing style. I always say it, goal poachers, I really want pace to get him behind the defence to make them effective, so it's not a good combination, that pace with his playing style. Decent kicking power, bit of physical contact about him, but ultimately, if you've just got the game, you've got no strikers, he'll do a job for you for sure, but it's not even much of a boost on his base card, to be honest. So this for me is not a brilliant card. It's a pretty average centre forward. He could do a job, but I think the vast majority of people have got multiple better strikers than this, so I don't think many people are going to be too excited to get this guy. And then our other 4-star, we've got Jack Stevens for Southampton from the playoff final. I gotta be honest, this isn't much of a boost on his base card either. They've not changed much. As with Niang, it's the same play style and position and everything, and the attributes aren't really boosted much on his base card. It's all about the skills though. He already had heading, his base cards got heading, captaincy, fighting spirit. Everything else has been added. So if you're a Southampton fan, this is a great version of Stevens for you to put in your Southampton squad. All these skills will really transform him compared to his base card, his GP card. But yeah, even with those skills, looking at it in isolation, defensive engagement 75 is poor. It's not the most aggressive. He is good with the awareness and tackling there. Pace pretty average for a centre back, but the jumping only 80. He's about 6'1". Does have aerial superiority, but jumping at 80 is not going to be brilliant in the air. Physical contact 84 is okay, but again, it could be higher. It is a 4-star card, but yeah, I think, to be honest, it's only really Southampton fans who are pleased with this guy, unless, again, you're new to the game and you really, really need players in the position. But ultimately, it's not a brilliant card. It's a big upgrade in his GP card, just for the skills alone, but yeah, it's not a brilliant card. And we have our first booster, so Sandro, normally an attacking fullback and left back. He's a build-up centre-back. He's played there quite a bit this season, actually, I think, in like a back 3 for Juve. So we've got a centre-back version of Sandro. I'll start with the skills. He is a centre-back, this card, so they've given him heading and aerial superiority. They've also given him blocker, and he already had interception, so he's got some good skills for a centre-back, but there's no man marking, no acrobatic clearance, sliding tackle, so there's a few missing there. I think certainly man marking is an important one if you're going to play him at centre back. If you play him at left back, he does still have his usual skills. He's got pinpoint crossing, he's got one-touch pass, and interception and blocker. Good skills to have for a fullback. So, yeah, the question is, what position is he going to be best in? As a centre back, they've given him a boost. If we hit the boost to see what he gets in A form, the defensives get a boost. So, there are some real qualities there at centre back. The jumping and physical at 85 with aerial superiority is good, but he's only about 5'10", 5'11", so he's not going to be brilliant in the air. You'll just about get away with him in the air, but he won't be brilliant, he won't be dominant. Good stamina at 85 for centre-back, but up here you see that speed on A-form at 88, he's going to get 90 for speed on A-form. For a centre-back, that is very, very fast. Acceleration will be hitting 80 with your game plan boost as well, so he's got great pace for a centre-back. Down the left, all in the yellow here, so some nice technicals for a centre-back, but this is the key area. Awareness 84, not brilliant. Tackling 83, again, not brilliant. You've got a decent amount of aggression about him. Engagement 81 is not brilliant. you can kind of get away with him. I think if you just want someone at centre back who's just got pace, you're really trying to deal with some pacey strikers on the other team. He could do a job for you, certainly. He's got really good pace, and these defensive attributes, they're not disastrously bad, but I think for most people they'll be a bit on the low side. I wouldn't personally feel comfortable with him at centre back with those attributes there, especially without man marking. So the other question is, can he play left back? That's the area of concern. You know, he's about that level on his base card as a left back, to be honest. So they've not really nerfed him there, but I would like my left backs to be a lot more comfortable on the ball. You can get away with the passing. It's not brilliant, but you can get away with that. Certainly these defensive attributes on A form, at least, even when he's not on A form, to be fair, he's defensively strong for a fullback. The pace is okay for a fullback. I'd like a bit more acceleration, to be fair, but it could be worse. The jumping and physical, his aerial ability, very good for a fullback. Stamina's okay, so yeah, you could get away with him as a left back, certainly. I think if you're playing as a left back, you just got to be very careful on the ball with him. He could be one of these players who, if you like a defensive fullback as a playing style, then if you put this guy at left back and put the defensive instruction on him, he could be a very effective defensive fullback, to be honest. If you're not too bothered about these technicals down here, the defensive ability, the skills he's got, and the fact he's got some very good pace. Putting that instruction on him, use him as a defensive fullback could be probably the most effective way to use him, in my opinion. As an attacking fullback, yeah, could certainly do a job, could be pretty good, but you've got to be very careful on the ball because those attributes there for me are pretty horrible. And like I say, as a centre-back, these attributes, even on A form, are a little bit on the low side, and he needs man marking, so a bit lacking as a centre-back. So he's certainly one who's got some qualities, both left-back and centre-back. Depends on how concerned you are about the weaknesses. I think the best use of him, as I say, put a defensive instruction on him if you like a defensive fullback, and at left back he could do a very good job for you there. So not for everyone, but for some people could be an effective card. So now we have Icardi. So he scored as Galatasaray sealed the league title. They already had it pretty much wrapped up, to be fair. But yeah, we've had some versions of Icardi before. This one's similar to the previous Player of the Week ones. It is a good card though. I think it's quite a decent one. His pace is slightly down from his GP card, but they have given him a boost on his passing, his finishing, his aerial ability, his jumping, his physical, his heading, his balance as well. So I think this is quite a nice version of Icardi, to be honest. Skill-wise, only one difference. They've taken away cut behind and turn. Some people might be disappointed by that, but they give him aerial superiority. So he's going to be better in the air. He's got a good selection of skills for a centre forward. He's got heading, acrobatic finishing, aerial superiority, he'll be good from crosses, and he's got first time shot, rising, long-range curler, chip shot control, one-touch pass, a nice little one for a little bonus for a striker. He's not got the best passing. On the ball control will hit 80 with the game plan boost. He's by no means a dribbler. He's not going to be brilliant on the ball, but the awareness and the finishing both at 90 is fantastic before the game plan boost. Heading 85, jumping 85, physical, again, that's hitting 80 with the game plan boost. He's got aerial superiority. Not the biggest striker, but with the attributes he's got, with the skills he's got, he should be pretty capable from crosses. Not the quickest, not the most mobile, but yeah, for what he is as a fox in the box, that's what he normally is, I think. As a striker, you know, if you like your strikers, you're not too bothered about the dribbling and the pace. You want a striker who's going to be in the right place at the right time to take chances with their feet and also from crosses. I think he could be a very effective striker if he's your kind of striker. I think it's a pretty good card, to be honest. It's not an elite level card by any means, but for what he is, if he suits you, I think that's a pretty good card. I mentioned strikers being good from crosses. We've got Giroud. First things first, fox in the box. I've always wanted the fox in the box version of Giroud. I do not like the target man playstyle, which is his usual playstyle. Fox in the box is my preferred playstyle on a striker, so for me this is a very, very nice looking card. He's obviously still got the kind of attributes he normally has, and they are very much the attributes of a target man. He's not quick, he's not mobile, he's not going to be great on the ball, but he's technically sound in that he's got the ball control. His passing is reasonably decent for a centre forward, and he's obviously got good finishing, good awareness, but the strength with Giroud is pretty obvious. Heading 91, jumping 86, physical 92, kicking power up to 90. Compared to his GP card, they've actually nerfed his balance a bit, but he's got some nice boosts elsewhere. On the whole, it's a pretty good version of him, and I think the key though is the play style, making him a fox in the box. That for me is the big upgrade. But also there is another upgrade here. First time shot. He doesn't have first time shot in his GP card, so fox in the box, first time shot for me. Two reasons why this is a really nice card and I want this one. So I'll always say this about Giroud. I mean, he's got a great section of skills, as you can see here, for a centre forward, especially from crosses, and he's a super sub. I always say this with Giroud, he's a very, very particular type of striker. It kind of goes without saying, if you like your strikers to be mobile, you like to dribble, he's obviously not your type of striker. But if you want strikers who are big and physical, you can lump a long ball forward downfield to him, and he can bring it down and hold it up. You want to put crosses in the box, the headers. He's just brilliant at that. He's very much that type of striker, and with the Fox in the box play style, he'll be moving around a lot more than the target man and be making more attacking runs. And with first time shot as well, it's not the best version of Giroud we've had, but it's probably one of the last good versions of him that we're going to have. Maybe the last good version we'll have, unless there's a legend one coming up at some point. So yeah, if you're a fan of this type of striker, especially if you're a fan of Giroud, this is a good card. So we've had quite a few versions of Marcos Llorente. We've got another one. They've not done anything with his play style or his positions. In terms of his attributes, quite an interesting one. He's a little bit worse on the ball and with his passing, which is strange for a midfielder when he's in Player of the Week. But he's got a nice boost on his awareness. His finishing's had a bit of a boost. His defending is slightly boosted. His physical and aerial ability has been boosted a bit. His acceleration's had a very nice boost. Skill-wise, they've taken away cut behind and turn and dipping shot, I think. And they've added one-touch pass and pinpoint crossing. One-touch pass in particular, very nice addition. That's the one skill he's always really lacking. So, nice selection of skills here. Going forward, he's got the long-range curler, first-time shot, one-touch pass, through passing, crossing. Outside curler is a handy one to have. Then he's got man-marking, trap-back, interception, fighting spirit defensively. He's got a good selection of skills and some very good attributes. The thing with this Llorente card, like a lot of versions of Llorente, is that he's got some great strengths in just about every position he can play, but he's also got a weakness everywhere he can play. You know, if you play him as a right back, you've got the pace, the stamina. He's pretty tidy on the ball. The passing, low pass is good. He's got pinpoint crossing, so his crossing's decent, but 75 tackling, 71 defensive awareness. There's the weakness. Right wing, the pace, the stamina. It's the bonus being able to defend. He's got pinpoint crossing, but crossing's not be brilliant. He's not great on the ball. And then through the middle, is he good enough on the ball to play as a centre mid? Is he good enough defensively to play defensive mid? And then when you play him as attacking mid or an SS, is he good enough offensively? I just don't know where he's going to be great, you know. I think he's just one of these cards where he's got a lot of qualities, he's got a good selection of skills. I think ultimately he's a useful card. He's one of these cards. It might sound a bit harsh calling him useful when there's a lot of qualities about him, and it is a good card, but I don't see him getting into any particular position in my team any week because I just don't think he's got any positions where he's that good and doesn't have a weakness. But as someone to have in your squad, especially on the bench, versatility, can play a whole bunch of positions, can do a job in a whole bunch of positions. I think useful is the word. That might sound harsh, but yeah, I just don't think he's got any positions he can play that well without an obvious weakness. But with that many positions that he can play, he's a very handy card. And it's nice they give him one-touch pass, especially if you're going to play him through the middle. And pinpoint crossing, likewise, to play him on the right. So it's a good version of him. It's a very, very useful card. And now we have either the last, or at least one of the last good versions of Toni Kroos. They've not done much with him. They've clearly just put him in because he's retiring, really. In terms of the attributes, the lofted pass is down a little bit. Everything else slightly boosted. But nothing else has really changed. I don't think it changed anything with his skills. It's the usual skills. Orchestrator, centre mid, can play defensive mid or attacking mid. I wouldn't play him defensive mid. He can't defend well enough. You can play him as an attacking mid. I got a similar version of Kroos. I got a previous Player of the Week one. It was a super sub one. I've played him in attacking mid before, and he can be very effective there. But certainly with that playing style, orchestrator as a centre mid, if you like an orchestrator, very, very nice. Just got to be careful. He's a little bit slow. He is going to get tired as well with the stamina, but certainly their strengths. I mean, everyone knows where the strengths are with Kroos. Technically brilliant, and he's got end product with the skills he's got, and this is a booster as well. So if you hit that boost, even better technically. So like I say, as a centre mid orchestrator, you like that playing style. Very, very effective there. Brilliant on the ball with his passing, his end product. And again, if you play him as an attacking midfielder, in my personal experience, very effective there. He's got brilliant passing. He's got a really nice shot on him in my experience. He's not got the highest finishing attribute, but he's got long range shooting there, rising shot, long range curler, first time shot. Obviously all the passing stuff there as well, interception at the bottom. But yeah, for me, centre mid or attacking mid is a great card. They might have only put him in because he's retiring, but I don't think many people are going to complain about that. If you've not got a good version of Kroos and you get this card, I think you can be very happy. It's a very nice card. Now we have Nuno Mendes. So I'll cut to the chase with this guy. What they've essentially done, they've lowered his lower body attributes, the speed, kicking power, stamina, and they've made him a bit better technically. That's essentially what you're looking at here. I think that's a pretty good swap though, because I don't think you need much more on his lower body than he's got here. Speed 93 is good enough. Stamina 90, good enough. Kicking power is fine, 82. Great acceleration as well. He's rapid. All these physicals down the right are good. There are just some weaknesses though. Defensively, he's not that great. Defensive engagement at 68. Yeah, that's going to get to the 70 mark with the game plan boost, but that's still not great. Not aggressive. The awareness and tackling could be worse, but they're not brilliant. And these two attributes here, I say this quite often with fullbacks. Tight possession 70, low pass 71. Those two attributes there are horrible. I've had players before with low tight possession, and I don't like it at all. He is decent enough with his ball control and dribbling, so he's got qualities there. And likewise, he's got a good lofted pass, and he's got a pinpoint crossing, so he's got a pretty decent cross on him. Not much curl though. But yeah, just be very careful on the ball with this guy with the tight possession. If you slow it down, you start left stick dribbling, you could be in trouble. He's quite a tall guy as well. And likewise with his passing, don't ask too much with his passing. Keep it very simple because you do not want to give the ball away in those areas. But there are qualities there, like I say. As a left wing back as well, if you play wing backs, so left midfield, right midfield, and you like them getting up and down, covering the whole of that flank, he can do that job. I think he's probably better suited to that than left back, with the fact he's not that brilliant defensively. But if you like a very attacking left back, you don't mind the defenses being a little bit low, and you don't mind the tight possession and low pass being a bit low, could be fantastic. Because like I say, he's got qualities. Primarily it's the athletic stuff with the pace and the stamina. If we look at the skills, I don't think they've changed anything. He's got a pretty good selection of skills for a fullback. Pinpoint crossing primarily when he's going forward. Low lofted pass as well. Soul control is a nice bonus in a fullback. And then interception, slide and tackle, acrobatic clearance defensively. So yeah, there's not a chance you're going to play him at centre back with those defensive attributes. But like I say, as a very attacking left back, be wary of 1 or 2 weaknesses he's got there, because he does have 1 or 2 weaknesses. Or as a left wing back, I think probably as a wing back he's better suited than he is as a left back. But yeah, 1 or 2 weaknesses to be mindful of there, and be careful with him on the ball. But he's got some very good qualities as well. So if you don't mind the weaknesses, could be a good left back card. And we have his compatriot Bruno Fernandes. So we've had about 1 million versions of Bruno Fernandes, but this is actually a pretty interesting one. So from the FA Cup final, of course, they've given him centre forward and SS, and then made him a deep lying forward. I don't think we've had a deep lying forward version of Bruno Fernandes before. Normally a whole player, which is a popular playing style. So this might not be the playing style that everyone wants on him, but I think as if you play him as a centre forward or an SS with that playing style, I think it suits him pretty well. I think this is a pretty good card. They've actually made him slightly worse on the ball, and they do that sometimes with attacking players. I'm not going to bother ranting about it again. It's just silly, but yeah, slightly worse on the ball this time. Lofted pass, I think, is slightly down as well. But as you would expect, attacking awareness is up to 88, finishing 87. He's had a nice boost on his speed, and his physical has been boosted a bit as well. So, like I say, good version of Bruno. This is a very interesting one. It's a booster as well. Let's hit that booster, see what we get on A form. So his passing gets even better. So great passing. I think this guy's a deep lying forward, could be absolutely superb. He's had a bit of a boost on his pace, so his pace is pretty average now. Not the quickest, but average pace. Great kicking power there, you see. Even though they made him a bit worse on the ball than his GP card, he's not bad on the ball. He's tidy. If you're playing this guy as a deep lying forward, as a centre forward or SS, I think that's still pretty good. The awareness hitting 90 with the game plan boost. Finishing, I think if you got one of these pay to win managers with the +3 boost, then you'll get that up to 90 as well, but near enough either way. Passing fantastic. Unwavering form. Summer's coming up, keep that in mind. If we look at the skills, they've simply replaced gamesmanship with no-look pass. Don't think that's going to make much difference, is it? But got the usual skills. That's the most important thing. One-touch pass, through passing, pinpoint crossing, outside curl is a nice one. Heel check as well. Long way shooting though. So I think as a deep lying forward, just dropping deep into the build-up just behind the attack with his passing ability, his shooting ability, I think this is a really, really interesting version of Bruno Fernandes. I think if you're a Man U fan, you'd be very happy if you get this card. You'd be very keen to get it. Even if you're not a Man U fan, I think if you like the deep line forward playing style, I think this is a really, really good card. He can still play his normal positions. I wouldn't personally play him centre mid. I always say I don't like a centre midfielder who can't defend, and clearly he can't defend. But as an attacking midfielder, playing without a playing style, some don't like a player playing without a playing style. Others don't mind it. I don't mind it personally. I find when I play someone at attacking midfield without a playing style, they play just fine. There's enough movement about them. They can do a job. And with the ability this guy's got, his end product with his passing and his shooting as an attacking midfielder, I think he could be very effective there. So, yeah, it's maybe not the best version of Bruno Fernandes we've had because we've had 1 or 2 showtimes and whatnot, but certainly I think it's a pretty good one. And with the fact they've given him a centre forward and SS, that deep line forward playing style, I think it's a very interesting one. It could be a very, very effective one depending how you use it. So yeah, certainly, especially for Man United fans, I think this could be a really interesting card to pick up. And then we have our goalkeeper, and this is one of the better Player of the Week goalkeepers we've had for quite a while. So I got a Player of the Week to Stegen from a Champions League Player of the Week pack a few months back now, and it's been brilliant for me. He's one of my very best goalkeepers. This is pretty similar. Reflexes are a bit lower than the one I've got, but he's a bit better with the catching and parrying. You're going to have that awareness and reflexes well over 90 with your game plan boost. Parrying is going over 90 with your game plan boost. Reach is decent, about 6'1", and catching as well. Certainly not bad. It's not brilliant, but 83 is fine, I think, for catching. I don't think that's a problem. So, yeah, for me, this is a really good goalkeeper. The only thing that they've not really boosted is jumping, of course, because as we all know, when a goalkeeper is on top form, he can't jump as high as he normally can. I will never stop complaining about that because it's stupid. But yeah, bottom line, very good goalkeeper. If you've got a good version of Ter Stegen already, you might not need it. But if you don't already have a good version of Ter Stegen, this is a great goalkeeper. And then we finish up with Nico Williams. I've got a Player of the Week, Nico Williams, the most recent one. Pretty similar to this, to be honest. Whole player, wide midfielder. That's what I did last time. 2-footed, unwavering form again. Summer's coming up, so that could be handy. I'll start with the skills. First time shot on one touch pass. That's what they've added. 2 very useful additions. He's already got outside curler, soul control, long range curler. A bunch of dribbly stuff for the dribblers. If you like wide midfielders who can run really fast and are good at dribbling, this is a card for you. The one that I've got, like I say, is similar, and he's really effective. He's a really good card. And this one, likewise, is a good card. He's got a bit more end product than he normally does. They're giving him a bit of a boost on his end product attributes. Some good skills they've added to him. Whole player instead of prolific winger. And like I say, great on the ball, good attacking awareness as well. That marries up nicely with the whole player playing style. Pace, good balance. Yeah, like I say, it's pretty straightforward. You want a winger who's quick, who's good at dribbling, got a little bit of end product about him. Really good card, really good card, really fun to use. And again, 2-footed, unwavering. There's a lot of good things about this card. So if he's your cup of tea, I think it's a really, really nice card. So there you go. I think that's a decent selection, Player of the Week, to be honest. I think it's probably the last one we're getting this season. I don't think we'll get another one until the next European season starts. I don't think it's an amazing selection. I was hoping they'd go out with a bang and have a really good selection. I would say if the cards suit you, there are quite a few cards in here that can be pretty good. Giroud, for a lot of people, could be a fantastic card. Llorente is a pretty handy one. I think the Bruno Fernandes card's really good. Ter Stegen's a really good keeper. Nico, if he's your cup of tea, is a really good winger. Nuno Mendes, got some strengths, also got some weaknesses. Kroos, not the most amazing version of Kroos, but it's certainly a pretty good one, and it might be the last good version to get of him. Icardi could be effective. Sandro, for some people, could be an effective card. I think there's just 2 cards in there that are duds, to be honest. I don't think Niang or Stevens are particularly interesting for many people. So, yeah, on the whole, decent selection. Not an amazing one, but certainly some cards in there that could be well worth having. So, yeah, there you go. I'll just finish by saying we are expecting an update to the game either next week or the week after. No one knows for sure yet until Konami announce it. Hopefully it'll be next week. I think personally it's going to be next week. That's just my prediction. Because if you've scored every penalty in the penalty game, you're going to complete all the rewards between next Thursday and the Thursday after. And the last time they added rewards to that was with an update. So I have a feeling next week could be the update, but we'll just wait and see. But whenever that update does drop, keep your eyes out for a bunch of videos on the channel. There's going to be new nominating contract packs next week, even without an update. So there should be a bunch of videos coming up, pack reviews, new player faces and whatnot. So yeah, keep your eyes out for all of that. Thank you for watching as always. Hope you found that interesting. I'll see you soon.